sure many of us have eaten bananas. If you eat bananas and you like them, give me a shout. Yes, lovely. Now, if you have eaten bananas and you love them, you will also know, if you didn't know, I am going to let you know that they are only found in Uganda and her neighboring countries, Tanzania, Rwanda, Burundi, and Congo, and Kenya. Very little in Kenya. So we are the banana people. And in Uganda here, bananas, matoke, I'll use matoke, I think. We call them matoke. Matoke is, the Baganda call it emere. And actually, emere is food. If you have not eaten emere, you have not eaten. You agree with me? Now, but this matoke that we enjoy the most, I hope you have told your children that matoke comes from a plant, not from the market. I have deliberately grown a banana plant in my compound so that my children know that banana grows on a plant. But that plant is heavily attacked by all kinds of diseases. And I would just want to remind you that if you, some of you have known about, if you know Masaka, Rakai, Ruwero, Kayunga, this used to be the hub of matoke in the years. But because the bananas there, the plant that gives us the matoke, was eaten by a particular disease that eats up all the leaves dry. Have you seen that? The leaves dry, it's as if the sun has been more in your garden than everywhere else. And banana plantation in Masaka shifted. In the recent years, we were hit by another disease that we know as banana bacterial wilt. Now, banana bacterial wilt is, I don't know whether I can call it an HIV for bananas, but it does not leave any variety, not anywhere in the world, not only the matoke varieties, but not a single other variety in the world. It eats up practically everything. I got this shocking experience when I had been away studying for 5 years, and I was always calling my dad and telling him about banana bacterial wilt and how to manage it. But you know, it was tricky at the time. I came home and I was shocked to find that the banana plantation that sent me to school had been replaced by sorghum. Now, that didn't go down well with me. I said, now, I have come home with a PhD in bananas, and my father's plantation is gone. So I think that probably brought me back to the lab with a lot more courage than I had probably come back home with. But if you think about that scenario, it is very possible that the lorries that we see ferrying bananas into the city or the towns of this country can very easily, in just a snap, be gone. We wouldn't see them anymore because this has happened in our face. So I would like us to come with me to around about 2000, when the rest of the world and us were celebrating millennium, and some of you were scared that the world was going to end. At that time, Uganda made not a decision to say the world was ending, but they made a decision to take on biotechnology. And I happened to be one of the team members that was working on an activity that was charged with the responsibility to lay the platform that would make sure that the matoke that we love to eat is not exterminated by disease. Because there are some difficult diseases, like, for example, bacterial wilt, where we don't have resistance at all, not in any varieties in the world. So we would have to employ alternative technologies. And we wanted to employ biotechnology. Now, so this platform, I was with a team of 3 Ugandans. Now, I'm talking about the ones in the lab. I saw one of them here representing the team, Grace. I saw you. But I was with Lois and Pamela and somebody called Henry. So we start on this journey, and we were in the lab working almost late into the night. We had a lab full of experiments and petri dishes and days under the microscope. Now, our job was to make sure that that platform, what it involves is for us to use the technologies of the technologies in biotechnology. We would need to reduce the banana plant. I'll use the word reduce. It's not like shrinking it, but reduce the plant to its bodybuilding blocks, which we call cells. And we would have to show that we can regrow the plant from the cells. Now, that was the problem. So we worked 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years down the road. I tell you what, the banana plant had refused. Didn't want to be reduced. We were running out of time. The pressure was getting too high. Accountability for money, for a product, for a system in place. And I was the team leader. I was the lead scientist for the team. And so my team leader, who happens to be in the house here, called me to his office and threw the challenge into my face. I had been registered at Makerere University for a master's degree, and I was challenged to take that on as my research project. So I accepted. I knew it was going to be difficult, but I knew I was also going to be starting from a psychological stage of failure because I had been part of this system, the team that was running for 3 years. I didn't know what I was going to do different, but I agreed that I would do it. So I went into the lab, I set up experiments, and the thing was not working. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, again, the thing was not working. I was beginning to panic. I knew I had to deliver. But I felt like, this is not giving me what I am looking for. And I tell you what, like Jonah of the Bible, I decided to run away. I ran. I feel awkward to say this because my team leader is here. I went to another organization in this neighboring town, and I got myself another job. I passed the interview, but the director of the organization called and said he wanted to speak to me particularly. So I sat in his office and he looked at me and said, "Priver, you are a clever girl. You have invested so much in what you have been doing. You are our best candidate, but we are not giving you the job." And he bluntly told me, "Go back to Kawanda. You have a career there. We don't have a career for you here." Now you can imagine the frustration I had. The longest journey I probably had from Entebbe to Kampala. But on the way, there's something that came to my mind, and this comes from part of my childhood growing up. One time my mother sent me for sugar from a cupboard. I went and tried to open this cupboard and it refused. It refused. And so I couldn't open it, so I came to her and said, "Mama, cupboard yanga." And she looked at me and said, "Yakujira ngwenchi." Now you better translate for some people there. So, but you know that lived, and through life she has always challenged us that cannot speak should not defeat you. So I came, all these thoughts going through my mind. I had a team of leaders that believed in me. They supported me. And here I was, I thought, after all, these bananas do not speak. So I came back into the lab. I had moved close to the institute so that I could spend more time in the lab. I remember we spent a lot more time in prayer with my friend Jennifer. She wasn't able to come today. We prayed deeply about this. And I set up a few more experiments, changed different things, read a lot more, and I waited. 4 months later, I was in the lab searching through the plates and under the microscope and looking. And for a moment, I was like, is that right? I looked again. Is that right? I think the inside of me was panicking. And I looked again. I went quickly and pulled out my camera just in case. So I pulled out the camera, I took a picture of this thing, and I looked at it again, and I was like, yes! Yes! We got it. I quickly ran, and I ran to, we call him Tush. Allow me to call you Tush. I ran to Tush and said, you know what, Tush? I got it. And he was like, what? Are you sure, Priver? No, are you sure? Are you sure you got it? I said, yes, you have to come and see. So he quickly left his magnificent office and ran down with me to the lab, and there it was. It was the right thing. You guys better clap, eh? It was the right thing. It was the right thing that we had been looking for, that we were not seeing. Now, I know we had another colleague called Rose. Rose Gahako was one of those people who loved party, and every opportunity for party would be, a beer, a bottle of wine. So she got a bottle of wine, and there was celebration, and everybody got to know about it. And it was that moment that, we knew that. But it was only the starting point. That was just the starting point. I had to also go through the journey of proving that I have to get a plant that is exactly, because I had started with a variety, say for example, let me call it Chibuzi, the ones you can identify with, Chibuzi, Mwazirume, Nachitembe. I had started with this variety, Nachitembe, or Chibuzi. I had to show that the plant that I get out of this cell is exactly Nachitembe, and nothing else has changed. Fortunately, God heard our prayers. It was not only getting this first step, but even the last step of getting the true plant of what the first variety was. We got it. So what does this mean? What does this mean for us? What does it mean? Scientists, I want to encourage you. Scientists, I want to encourage young people who are in science. You can do it. It does not matter the steps of discouragement. You can do it. What that means is that, now Patricia said this is a result in the lab, a scientific result, but what that means is that, it's like having fire in the kitchen. This is fire in the kitchen. The cook can cook anything now. The scientist, you can add anything to improve the matoke. We have also established a training ground for younger people who are learning science in related aspects. But also what that means is that for a farmer in Masaka, in Kayunga, anywhere in this country who is growing Chibuzi and Bwazirume and Nachitembe, when we have used this system, this fire, to improve a variety so that it can stand up to a disease like bacterial wilt that would otherwise, destroy these varieties and we lose them, we will still get back the same variety. But what that means for us who love to eat matoke, is that you will go to the market and you'll find a variety of matoke and you'll be able to make to bargain and take home a bunch and you'll be able to eat and enjoy your delicious matoke. God bless you.